The Democrats unveil their new plan to fight Donald Trump, and it is absolutely pathetic. So Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, and Chuck Schumer jointly announced their profound 4-point plan for how they're going to combat Trump. To be fair, it's not much of a plan as much as it's just 4 ways to accomplish absolutely nothing, including the creation of a brand new anti-Trump task force. Before I get into the video, I want to talk to my supporters, my subscribers, anybody who enjoys my content. I've been seeing comments that my videos aren't showing up on people's feeds and that I might be shadow banned by YouTube. So I reached out to YouTube support and they confirmed my account is not being shadow banned. They said they recommend videos based on what they think people will enjoy. And the way they determine what people might enjoy is by the amount of likes a video is getting. I'll look at a video with 100,000 views and I'll see that 60% of the people who watch it are subscribers, but the video might only have 7,000 to 8,000 likes. So my ask of you, my rallying cry to my community, my supporters, anybody who wants to see me win, anybody who enjoys my content, if you think that more ears need to hear my message, please, on this video and future videos, hit the like button. That one quick action makes a huge difference. And I'm not asking anybody to do it if they genuinely did not enjoy the video. But if you did, that one small action has a massive impact on not just reaching more people, but reaching all of my subscribers. I believe common sense commentary like I provide is extremely important in allowing people to be properly informed and cut through the lies and the noise of the media. It's the only way that we can make sure people know what's going on accurately and make the right decisions in the ballot boxes. But enough of that. I just wanted to let everybody know how important it is to me and the success of this channel if you take that second and hit the like button. But let's listen to this Democrat congressman announce the anti-Trump task force, whose mission, I guess, is to stop Trump from stopping corrupt, wasteful government spending. Watch.
What do you say to the folks that are like, I don't think House Democrats have found their footing yet?
Look, I think that they're wrong, Simone. First and foremost, it's good to be with you, and thanks for having me on. Michael, I think, outlined and articulated well the context by which this task force was created. It's a perilous moment for our republic, given the unlawful and unconstitutional executive orders that have been issued by this administration, the agency actions that you all have described in great detail that are harming everyday Americans. And the leader Jeffries of our caucus, has made clear to members that it's an all-hands-on-deck moment that requires a decisive and comprehensive response on the part of House Democrats, particularly given Republicans' obstinance and, as Michael said, their complete capitulation to Donald Trump. So this task force, in effect, is a clearinghouse for developing legal and legislative responses, substantive responses to the Trump administration's lawlessness, and doing everything that we can to try to reverse any unlawful actions that are harming the American people.
So not only are Democrats choosing to fight Trump ending corrupt, wasteful government spending, but now they're actually going to be spending tax dollars to create a task force to obstruct this. Not only is it pathetic because it's not going to do anything, but it's pathetic because a majority of what Trump is doing is extremely popular with the American people, ranging from 60 to 70% approval. And I have to think that cleaning up corrupt, wasteful government spending has to be more popular than all of those things. It's like, yeah, people can argue, should mass deportations only be for criminals or not? Okay, are tariffs a good thing or a bad thing? But almost every person on either side of the aisle agrees that the government is wasteful and that needs to end. While Trump's trying to reduce the size of the federal government, reduce spending, lower the deficit, pay off national debt, and reduce taxes for people and return money to their pockets, the Democrats' platform is bigger government, more control, more spending, give us more of your tax dollars. And because that's what they truly believe, they can't give the American people their competing vision. And this is causing Democrats to get fed up. Listen to Hakeem Jeffries, who goes on Jon Stewart's podcast. Jon Stewart asks him, where is your guys' plan?
Where is the Democrats' Project 2025? Is that underway? Is there, everything you're saying feels right to me. The Democrats have to make this point. Where's the infrastructure to do that? And who are the leaders taking charge of that effort? Because when I listened to, I believe his name is Ken Martin, is that correct? The new
That's right.
DNC chair?
That's right.
He kept saying it's a messaging issue, as though, no, everything's going right, you just don't realize it yet. As opposed to, we've gotten away from New Deal values. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I think there's a few things going on here.
Yeah.
In terms of how we better communicate with the American people, Maya Angelou said it best. People won't remember what you say. They may not even remember what you do, but they will always remember how you make them feel. And I think what we have to do a better job of is making the American people feel that we understand the pain that they've been in economically for a long period of time.
So he says, nah, we don't need a plan. We're just going to tell people that we hear their outrage. Well, who are the only people who are outraged by what Trump is doing? Not most rational, common sense people. It's the blue-haired, radical, progressive leftists. And he said, people remember how you make them feel. And he's actually right. Most people feel like the Democrats are fighting for more corruption and waste in their government. They feel like Democrats are in favor of illegals breaking into our country and getting preferential treatment over citizens. They feel like you're trying to stoke racism in every part of life when there isn't any. They feel like over the last 4 years, you ruined their lives through inflation and supported teachers talking to their children about gender identity. But the real reason they haven't formulated a plan is because they know they can't do anything. And that's evident because just a few days ago, Hakeem Jeffries admitted as much. But yesterday, Walmart, Obama, and Chuck Schumer unveiled their 4-point plan, which is actually a 4-point nothing burger. Watch.
Is that enough for your constituents who have been asking for Democrats to do more on the topic?
We're working on 4 fronts. First is communicating. Every day we're on the floor of the House, we're on the floor of the Senate. We are doing everything we can to show the American people how disastrous the DOGE policies are. Second, lawsuits. We've had a great deal of success with preliminary injunctions, temporary restraining orders in the courts. There are there are close to 50 suits filed, and on almost every major issue, the courts have put a freeze on stopping the DOGE people from implementing what they want to implement. Third, we're doing oversight. Just now, we had our first spotlight hearing in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and will be showing with spotlight hearings. Republicans won't let us have hearings which bring the truth out, so we're doing our own. And also in terms of oversight, we have set up a portal where whistleblowers can come forward. We've already had a lot of success. And finally, there's legislation. And there's legislation that's coming up on the 4th, in March, rather, the 14th. And in that legislation, we're going to work very, very hard to achieve our goals and help the American people and stop DOGE.
So just to recap, his plan is communication. Keep talking, keep lying, and keep whining. 2, the courts. So they're just going to keep looking for these radical activist judges to keep filing these unconstitutional blocks on Trump's actions, which subsequently get overturned anyway. Number 3, committee hearings. More talking, more arguing about DOGE bad and holding up poster boards about why DOGE and Elon are bad. And then 4, legislation. Legislation to do what? Legislation that you can't pass. Legislation that will never be signed into law. It seems like the Kamala Harris word salad has been adopted by everybody in the Democrat Party. So they can give these long-winded statements about how they're doing something, but not actually doing anything. And that's no more evident than the Democrats' own Twitter page, where they've started posting these daily updates about what the Democrats are doing to try to give some sort of morale to their supporters, but all they're posting about is doing absolutely nothing. Let's take a look at this one. Here's what the Democrats did today. Every single Democrat voted against confirming Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. But Tulsi Gabbard got confirmed as Director of National Intelligence. So they're bragging about putting up a futile resistance. Senator Raphael Warnock introduced the Capping Prescription Cost Act to cap all out-of-pocket costs on prescription drugs. So another piece of bad Democrat legislation that will never have any legs. Arkansas Senate Democrats successfully voted down a bill to allow municipalities to remove fluoride from the water systems. So even though new data came out to show that fluoride is in fact harmful because originally it was put in water before toothpaste was popular, but now that humans get fluoride from their toothpaste, they don't need to be drinking it as well. So they're bragging about making people less healthy. A coalition of 191 House and Senate Democrats sent a letter demanding the removal of Elon Musk's operatives from the CFPB. So they're sending strongly worded letters now, and a judge just ruled that Elon Musk can have access to the CFPB. And then something about a Democrat winning a tiny little local election somewhere. This is a funny comment right here. What Democrats did today: bitch, cry, blame Elon Musk for their mistakes, defend bureaucracy, disregard the will of the American people. Sounds about right, and that's how most people are seeing what they're doing. And it's not just the crying and the whining and the obstructing, it's the blatant lying. Oh, Elon Musk is gonna do this, Republicans are gonna cut this, with no evidence to justify it, just trying to fearmonger in hopes that some people are stupid enough to still believe Democrats. Here's Walmart Obama talking about all the disastrous things the Republicans are doing, even though we can see with our eyes that they're not.
Our view is that we'll work with anyone in this town to make life better for the American people, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living, securing the border, defending dreamers, farm workers, and families, and keeping our communities safe. The Republicans in the House and the Senate have shown no interest in making life better for everyday Americans because it's all about tax cuts for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. And they're going after the federal workforce in areas that will harm the American people, harm Social Security recipients, harm Medicare recipients, make it harder for our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers, our EMS workers, to keep our communities safe, all in service of rewarding their billionaire allies.
So everything he just said was obviously a lie, but the one that I want to focus on and talk about the most is his supposed willingness to work with Republicans to get things done. Democrats say, oh yeah, we're for cutting wasteful government spending and making the government more efficient. But when Trump says, okay, let's get these employees to return to the office, Democrats say, no, we can't do that. They have a contract. So Republicans say, okay, well, let's fire a whole bunch of people. We'll save money there. We'll have everybody else return to the office, and we'll get more production out of fewer people. And Democrats go, oh, no, you can't fire everybody. That's unconstitutional, and it'll have disastrous effects on the American people. So Trump goes, okay, we won't fire them. How about we give them 8 months of paid severance and benefits while they look for another job? And Democrats say, oh, no, you can't do that. So Trump says, okay, well, let's look at these federal agencies, see if there's some money to be saved, cutting back budgets here. And Democrats go, oh, no, you can't cut any money from these agencies. They provide essential services to Americans. And so Trump says, okay, well, can we at least look at where the money's going, see how it's actually being spent? And Democrats go, oh no, you can't audit the books. You can't see what the money's actually being spent on. Are you crazy? Constitutional crisis. Democrats will say, oh, we're for securing the border and enforcing immigration law. So Republicans say, okay, can we deport people then? Democrats say, oh no, you can't do that. These people are members of our communities, but you can go after the criminals. So Trump says, okay, well then will you guys comply with ICE? Let us into your prison so we can arrest these criminals? And Democrats say, oh no, we can't do that because we're sanctuary cities. That's racist. Republicans will say, we'd really like to stop teachers from indoctrinating students in gender ideology and allowing doctors to chemically castrate kids and mutilate them. And Democrats will say, oh, Republican conspiracy theory, that's not happening. And so Republicans say, fine, if it's not happening, you should have no problem signing this legislation to ban it. And Democrats say, oh, no, we can't do that because then it's restricting essential life-saving care for trans youth. They're quite literally a walking contradiction. So I understand why Trump or any of the Republicans don't want to go near these people or work with them on anything or engage in any bad faith negotiation. And Walmart Obama proves my point as a reporter shows him polls showing Trump's agenda is extremely popular and asks him, what, if anything, does he agree on? And his answer is none of it. Watch.
Donald Trump's favorability rating is actually higher than it ever was the first time around. Let me ask you, a recent poll by Marquette looked at several of the things that he has done or says that he is going to do, and 63% favor federal government's recognition of only two sexes, 60% favor deporting immigrants who entered the United States illegally, 60% favor expanding oil and gas production, 59% favor declaring an emergency at the southern border. Is there anything you are seeing that Trump is doing that you are in favor of, that you think is the right thing?
Let me say, as it relates to all of those issues, we're just at the beginning. And the core promise that Donald Trump made is that he's going to lower costs for everyday Americans. In fact, we were told that grocery prices would go down on day one, on January 20th. Costs aren't lower. In fact, costs are increasing. The price of eggs is skyrocketing out of control. Inflation is on the way up. That was the core promise that's been broken.
So clearly, Trump's agenda and his bull in the China shop approach is extremely popular with the American people. But yet, Hakeem Jeffries can't find one thing that he agrees on because he isn't trying to work with the Republicans. They are establishing themselves as an anti-Trump party, which might have worked in 2017, but it certainly isn't going to work when 60 to 70% of the population agrees they like what Trump is doing. And it's a numbers problem. The Democrats are in a downward spiral, hemorrhaging more supporters by the day. They don't have enough supporters who are moderates to justify working with Trump. Instead, they're just trying desperately to hold on to their radical base, which will also never be enough to win them future elections because they're excluding all the moderates. They can't appease the moderates because then they risk losing the radicals. And as long as the radicals are their foundation, then they'll exclude everybody else with common sense. And the few reasonable Democrats who are still left are highlighting this problem. Listen to this former Democrat congressman who says the Democrats are spending entirely too much time talking about Elon Musk.
Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. He has the largest platform in human history, which is, of course, Twitter/X. And I think we're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller, and Democrats are being steamrolled.
They're so jaded by their own delusion that they can't accept that the rest of society isn't falling for the orange man bad rhetoric. Their Trump derangement syndrome strategy doesn't work anymore, so instead they've tried to shift it to Elon deranged strategy, thinking that a fresh face to the derangement will somehow give them credibility. But it's not just the Trump derangement that everybody's rejecting and ignoring. It's anything that comes out of a Democrat's mouth that they're rejecting and ignoring. Democrat politicians and the media lost all credibility with the American people. We know you lie, we know you manipulate, we know you take things out of context. So replacing Trump with Elon Musk isn't going to make us forget this is your strategy. And if not to illustrate my point beautifully, here is ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett saying, in fact, she's going to talk about Elon Musk even more. Watch.
We've heard a lot about the fact that Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not going to stop talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and confirmed to something, then so be it. But as of right now, we have somebody that for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're stupid, or if you literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros and a Bill Gates. But let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates ever somehow decided to turn off the spigot of money that was going through to various organizations and agencies to the extent that it had actually been ordered by law that they should have access to it, to the extent that people are dying.
So it's don't talk about Elon more, I'm going to talk about Elon more. There's nothing we can do to fight Trump. Actually, we have a 4-point plan. We're willing to work with Trump, anti-Trump task force. So it's not hyperbole when I say the Democrat Party is in complete shambles. It's me just honestly observing what they're showing me. So as Democrats are hemorrhaging support and Donald Trump is more popular than ever, it is leading up to an absolute bloodbath for the Democrats in the 2026 midterms. And if Republicans get 60 seats in the Senate and have a supermajority, the massive legislation that Donald Trump is going to pass will easily send the Democrat Party into irrelevance for the next 30 years. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.